Live from Latrobe Motorsports Studios, this is Ride Along with Howie, from the fast half-mile track at Latrobe Speedway, where it's grassroots racing at its finest. Here's Howie.
One. Race fans, right now we're going to be joined by one of the drivers who has the distinction of being the youngest ever late model winner in America. He lives in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. This is Michael Lake. Michael, welcome to Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by Joe's Body Shop and Towing out of Fairbanks and Latrobe Speedway. How are you tonight, Michael?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Coming up this upcoming Saturday night, going back to a track where you spent a lot of your childhood in Victory Lane, back when Doug Horn was driving for the Bobby Lake Motorsports team, coming back to Latrobe. Has to excite you getting back to that ultra fast half mile.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've struggled there a little bit while we've been there the past few times, but we just recently switched from a rocket chassis to a Longhorn, and I was always very good in the Longhorn, I feel like, and I'm excited to go down there and try it with that car.
Now, last year you did bring down the Rocket, and you mentioned you struggled a little bit to your standards. I mean, some top five runs, nothing to be ashamed of there. But you're back to a chassis that you started your you didn't start your super late model career in, but you had a lot of success. The Longhorn chassis out of North Carolina. And it has to be good just going back to something that you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like the Longhorns always fit me better. Don't get me wrong, we were very good in the Rocket the first year we had it. The guys up there have been nothing but good to us. I cannot say one bad word to nobody there. They've tried continuously to help us, but maybe it's just me. Maybe the Rocket just doesn't fit me with my driving style, and the Longhorns always did. And we're just going to keep on swinging the bat with the Longhorn we just got and see how we go.
And you've been running super lates full time for what, about 6 years now?
Yes. I think I started in the supers whenever I was 14 or 15, and I just turned 21. So
okay. You started out in the crates, and I'll never forget the first night in a crate car. It was up at Roaring Knob on a midweek show, and I was standing in your Pabst trailer with Zach Dome and Jared Hawkins, who at the time, Jared was driving for your Pap, and they told you, they're like, Michael, just go out and make some laps. And you were starting third, and you came out of turn number 2, the leader, and Dome looked at Jared Hawkins and said, you better find a ride because this kid is going to be here pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, we practiced quite a few times and got plenty of laps under my belt. And the one time we just decided I was going to start the race, and we had a good heat race run, and we saw how that went, and we went out for the feature, and it went from there. And I was pretty ecstatic with how the car drove, and we just kept on swinging the bat as it went and kept on trying to dig.
What was it like getting the chance to jump into a full-size car? You ran go-karts for a long time, and you didn't have necessarily – you had the Lake name, but not the Lake Motorsports dynasty of winning features that Bobby Lake Motorsports has had with drivers such as Doug Horton and you and Rick Strickler and everybody. But when you got in that car, it had to be immediate pressure on you just getting into one of your Pabst proven race-winning cars.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the most pressure I had out of the whole deal was whenever I first started, they didn't want to let me have all the motor. Like, they only had 2 of the barrels on the carburetor. And I was like, come on now, I know I can handle all this. And they just wouldn't open it up for me. And then eventually they finally did. And then I think, like, as soon as they did that, I might have had like 100 laps in that day. We were practicing. And we opened it up, and I was, I think, like 2.5 or 3/10 off of what they were running the night before in the features. So, I mean, that kind of made me feel pretty good, just knowing, like, I was pretty close to where they were the night prior to, and knowing that, like, I was able to keep the car underneath of myself and whatnot, and not tear everything to the ground. And then I just had to keep on trying to look forward. And luckily, I think it was the following year or the year after that, we ended up actually winning that touring race up at Roaring Knob with the Rush Series. So that was a pretty big accomplishment to keep that going, and trying to fill the shoes for my grandfather.
And it had to be hard because you had Doug Horton, who was one of the original drivers. I believe Benedum drove for a while. Then Horton got in the car, and Horton was there for a long time, and they had success locally. They were, at one point, they came out of Florida Speed Weeks, second in the Lucas Oil late model points. And here you are just trying to learn how to race a car. Don't even have a driver's license, not even a fully grown person yet. And you're out there competing against all these adults. And, how hard was it to go out there and get their respect?
Yeah, that was a big thing. A lot of the guys, like whenever I first started, I was one of the youngest kids that ever started. And a lot of the guys didn't like it at the time. And we had quite a few altercations with some guys. And a lot of it got cleared away because, I tried racing everybody as clean as I could and giving them as much room as I could. And it was a tough battle there for the first year or so. But after that, like I said, everybody started gaining the respect for me, and we kept on swinging the bat there. But, I'm still trying to get back to where we need to be. These past 2 years, I can't say struggled because we were still having decent finishes, but we weren't nearly where we should have been with how we were the past couple of years. So hopefully once we get this car figured out we got now, we can get back to where we were and hopefully win some more big shows.
How hard is it when you get down? It seems like all you can do is try to race your way out of it. And with super late models right now, they're running, but you can't go to too many local shows. It seems like you're going to like World of Outlaws because a lot of the local tracks aren't running true supers.
Yeah, I've been wanting to travel and hit a lot of more of the bigger races now, and I'm getting my confidence back to where it needs to be. So we're gonna hopefully, like I said, hit more big races and try to travel more with the bigger guys and get back to where we need to be with our paths on the race team and have all our heads firing together again and whatnot. So as long as we can get all that going, there should be no problem why we shouldn't be able to run with those guys because, heck, we went to Florida, what was that, 5 years ago with the Super, and we actually ran up front for a while, and then after that we had a solid week down there, and then it's just like we've struggled ever since then.
And probably in the past, 8-9 months, you actually reunited with your old crew chief, Billy Style, and it seems like the magic is starting to come back. And a lot of it's just chemistry, everybody being on the same page, and it just seemed like you weren't lost or anything, but you were trying to make calls on the car, on how to fix the car, and it just took away from the driving. Now you're able to go back and focus on the driving. Does it seem easier at the track for you, or still just, trying to get that chemistry back?
Yeah, it took a lot off my shoulders because, I went from, it was me and my buddy Drake and my girlfriend's father that was doing everything, and I was making all the calls and trying to do all the work throughout the week, which, is fine. That's what you're supposed to do, as a team. But from doing all that and not having no extra time for anything and driving the truck to the track to driving the car and driving the truck to the next track we'd race at 2 days, and it was just a lot on me. And after never doing that, and not having really any other intelligence because, we were all going to learn the basics of the car and go from there. So now that we got him back, it helps out a lot because we can throw ideas at each other, and he does a lot more and gives me a little bit more time, like whenever we're at the racetrack, to focus on how the track's changing and how the other cars are driving and how the faster guys are running around the track. So,
I know, what was it, opening night down at Tyler? we all left relatively the same time, and you showed up 2 hours later on one wheel on the trailer, and that it was just I could see the stress in you because that's not how you want to race. You don't want to be getting there late. You want to get there early. You want to set up your pitch. You want to, not be running around. And it seems like you guys like the track, there is a lot more help there. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad because a lot of it's also confidence. When you're going into that turn, you want to know the last person who tightened that lug nut knew how to tighten it.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I tell you, it's been a struggle. We got this new truck and trailer. The one we had before that we didn't have much luck with, and we got this thing hoping, we'd have more room. We got a lift gate again, and the whole 9 yards. And so after we got everything situated there, we took it to Florida and had a few issues with it, and then we got it back. And every weekend every weekend up until last weekend, we were having an issue with it, whether it was the brakes on the trailer not working, the lift gate working improperly, and now the hubs were going bad with the bearings and everything like that. So we always try to leave early just in case anything like that does happen, which it sucks when it does because then your mindset's not right whenever you show up to the track. Like that night at Tyler County, we pulled in on one wheel, which definitely should have never happened. But, it's one of those freak accidents that is what it is. And so we limped it in there and just tried to fix everything right. But, after driving 6 mile an hour to the racetrack for 15 miles out Route 18, and everybody frustrated if we're going to make it for hot laps, if anybody drew a pill for us, if we're going to make the heat race. And then we got there and the lift gate didn't work properly because the trailer was off balance, which is real finicky with it. So that was a very frustrating night. And whenever stuff doesn't go proper, it makes everything a lot more rough on not only myself, but the team and my grandfather especially. So we just got to keep trying to swing the bat and hope for better days,
Now, Michael, you've had a lot of wins throughout your career in the crates and supers. And looking back, is there one that maybe means a little more than any of the others?
I tell you, the one that really was a lot was my first win. That one, which is always going to be everybody's most valuable one. It was just getting out of the car, seeing everybody, how happy everybody was, and just knowing that myself, I did it, and, which I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for my crew and everything like that. But just knowing that I was able to, live up to my pap's expectations with me and all that. But aside from that, shoot.
What about Superwise?
Superwise, the best one I think I've got was the ULMS race at Dog Hollow. That was 3 years ago now. It was just awesome to, win a touring race with some high caliber cars like that. That was back whenever Tyler Bear was all there and Max Blair and everybody like that. And we had the car nailed, and I think I got to do a great job. And just being able to, keep up the tradition and fill the shoes that were there to be filled.
Now, what's it like whenever you're younger and you were younger, going to school and your friends are talking about, oh, yeah, I'm playing Xbox and I'm on this NASCAR game and I'm awesome. And you're like, yeah, well, while you were playing your computer, I was out racing a dirt late model this weekend. What was it like just being that kid?
Honestly, I didn't really talk about it much in school. I kind of kept my circle small in school, and I don't know. I never really had many friends. The few I had, I always hung out with, and they always knew everything, and they go to the races with me and whatnot like that. But I was never one to basically sit out and holler and say, hey, man, we were out racing this weekend. We traveled here, we traveled there. I don't know. It's just never been like how I was, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. It shows that, you got a lot of character, and, I'm telling you, there's a million people who want to be in your shoes. and I'm talking a lot of adults too. I mean, just to accomplish what all you've accomplished, you've won races in different states. One of the youngest late model winner in America, I believe, when you won that crate race, the first one. And I mean, super late model wins while you're still in high school. I mean, come on, that doesn't happen to everybody.
Yeah, I tell you, it was rough though. I mean, with missing a lot of the school that we did and trying to, get around all the absence days that it caused me to have. So that was, to take all that into consideration and then actually go run good while we were trying to battle that and figure out how we could get around it. But I mean, all in all, I think everything paid off. We just got to keep getting on the right track. We were there, but we weren't where we needed to be. So
now, you started racing when you were preteen. Now you graduated high school, and what are you doing for a living? Are you racing or you?
Well, right now I went back to school to our tech school, and I got my barber's license. So I cut hair throughout the day, and then after I get done there, we work from 10 to 6, and I go over to the garage after that until about 9 o'clock or so, and work on the car. But luckily enough, the guy that owns the shop that opened it up, he gives me my Fridays and Saturdays and whatever I need off. So he gives me my flexible schedule that I need to be able to continue to race and do what we do.
How did you get involved in the art of being a barber? Is it something you've always wanted to do, or just piqued your interest?
A couple of years back, my buddy, we always went and got a haircut from the place down in Hopwood. And the one time we couldn't get in for like 2 months, and I told him, I said, just let me cut your hair. I said, I know what I'm doing. And I made a big story up about it and how I did it before and blah, blah, blah. So I went ahead and did it, and it actually ended up pretty decent. And I cut his hair for a little while after that. And my uncle on my mother's side of the family, I was cutting his, and then that all kind of fell off, and we just stopped doing it. And then my girlfriend had told me that they were opening up a barber class at school, and I was like, well, if something were to happen with racing, I mean, I need something to fall back on because that can't be my primary job forever. We're not out on a tour or anything like that. So I ended up going and doing the 9-month class and getting all my hours, and now we're sitting there cutting hair.
Nothing wrong with that. Hey, Michael, why don't we go ahead and, first of all, I did want to thank you for taking time to join us tonight, but let's go ahead and recognize all the sponsors, the pit crew, and everybody who believes in Michael Lake and trying to make him back to the great super late model driver he was.
Yeah, I got to thank my grandfather especially. Without him, none of this would be possible. And, there's a lot of time and money that he spent building up to where we're at now. And, without him, there'd be nobody for me to sit here and talk about or think. But, him, Billy Style, the crew chief, my good friend Drake Meeks, he just recently moved up here from Parkersburg, and he helps us now as well. My girlfriend's father, Bob Holmes, he helps out a lot whenever he's not too busy with work. I mean, we all have jobs nowadays, and so we got to put the time in when we can and when we get free time. And there's a older fella, George. He comes out and tinkers around a little bit in the garage, and he helps out a lot with cleaning the air filters and just little odds and ends, little stuff that you don't think it means a lot, but it really does. So those guys there, they keep the ball rolling week in and week out, making sure we get to the track. But and the sponsors, my Pat Bobby Lake Motorsports, Gary's Auto Sales, he helps us out a good bit with anything we need. And if we need a truck, if our rig isn't running, he makes sure we get a way to the track and have a way to pull the trailer. So he's been a big help for us here lately. Todd Warwick Racing, after we got this Longhorn, he's been helping us a lot. The guys out at AccuForce for getting the shocks good. Bill Sleeper out at Pro Power. All the guys up at Rocket still, they help us out with parts and everything with what we can use and make do. The Fox Racing shocks we got, Acceler Racewear. They make a nice fire suit. If you guys need anybody, give Cheyenne Reed a call. He'll make sure to get you guys in there and get fitted up. D&M Trucking, they always make sure our rig's only up and up to go whenever it's good. They do all the servicing and the whole 9 yards there and help us out. So, I mean, without those guys, you know, it doesn't sound like much, but what they do offer helps us out tremendously and keeps it rolling.
Hey, Michael, I appreciate your time. And I'm telling you, I see you having a great weekend this week at Latrobe. And I think that $2,000 is going to be going home with you.
I hope so. I will. I'll hopefully see you up there, and I appreciate you having me on.
Race fans, that was Michael Lake, pilot of the Bobby Lake Motorsports, K2 Engineering, Longhorn. Keep your eyes on him this week as he'll be going to pick up the super late model win at Latrobe Speedway this upcoming Saturday. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Race fans, right now we're going to be joined by our defending modified four-cylinder champion, pilot of the number 48 Carryall Products Chevrolet, back to Chevrolet this year. This is Paul Koffler III. Paul, welcome to Ride Along. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you, Howie?
Good. We're 2 weeks into the season, and you got one featured start under your belt, and that feature was this past Saturday. As opening night, you had some motor problems and was the scratch, but you ran the feature this week, and that new car was flying around the half mile. Unfortunately, you got a flat tire, restarted in last, and I think if you would have had a couple more laps, you could have pulled out the win. But second place, not a bad way to get your first race out of the year.
Yeah, it's a win for me from Saturday night, Howie. I haven't finished a feature race since the last points race of last year.
Okay. You had quite an off season as you went down to Bristol and competed for the second year in a row. And getting those starts early in the year, does it help you as the season goes on because you got some laps under your belt in a car?
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, that was a brand new car. We took it down there, and a broken axle the first night down there. Then the second night we had a engine malfunction.
Well, hopefully those gremlins are all behind you. And like I said, the crew this week, I mean, they almost had a cup-style pit stop as they were able to change that tire and get you back out on that track.
Yeah, I can't thank my dad and everybody that helps us on the car every week and to get it ready to go.
Now, what's kind of unique is in the past, your cars were normally a Pontiac Sunfire, which is kind of a sportier car. This new car is a four-door sedan Cavalier. I know you're getting older. You got 3 kids. It's just easier to, you found a four-door and figured, you know what, I'm not going to use it as my everyday ride, so let's make a race car out of it. Or any thought or reasoning why a four-door car?
The price was right when we got it. Couldn't pass it up. We actually bought it off of Braden Dillinger. Him and his buddy was going to build it for his buddy, and they got out of it, so we bought it.
And like I said, that car, it flies around the track. And one thing with you, Paul, you are not old, but you have been racing a long time. Probably what? This is going to be your 14th season?
No, this will be, let me think here. My 16th season.
16th, okay. I wasn't that far off. It wasn't like, I'm glad you didn't say, no, this is only my third. Who are you talking about? But, Hey, Paul, it had to be cool getting to be on the track with your dad and grandfather, being part of a 3-generational team that was competing. I mean,
Absolutely. It was not only them two. I got to battle with my mom quite a few nights too when we raced back in the day in Farmington.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So, did you let your mama beat you, or were you showing her the fast way around the track?
Nah, I had to win one more race my rookie year to get Rookie of the Year, and I tried all I could to get around her, and I couldn't.
Who got Rookie of the Year, Mom?
No, some other guy.
Oh, okay. So you started out at the little track of Farmington. Then you moved over to the big track down at Motordrome. Then you were racing up at Jennerstown, Roaring Knob, and now it seems like you found your home at Latrobe. Out of all these surfaces and track styles, what do you like best? The big dirt track, the big asphalt track, little dirt track? What suits Paul Koffler the best?
I like them all.
Is there anything you can take from one track to another, or just everything different?
You could take some of your dirt skills to the asphalt. If your car breaks loose, a dirt guy can drive out of it, where an asphalt guy would lock his brakes up and spin out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you like a bigger track or a smaller track like Farmington?
Oh, most definitely. I like the big tracks.
Now, through the years, Grandpa retired and Dad's semi-retired, we'll say. But your dad, it's funny, I see him over there working on everybody's car. Jeremy Grubbs, last year he was helping out Jeffrey Vazos. And these are guys you're racing against. But it just shows the kind of people you guys are. You want to win, but you want to beat everybody when they're at their best too.
Yep, absolutely. It ain't no fun beating somebody when you beat them by 3/4 of the track. I'd rather run door to door with them.
And you built the new car this year, and your cousin is driving your old car. You basically converted it back to stock, and now that's in the new class. So now, at whatever age you are, you're one of the senior drivers trying to help out the young guns.
Yep.
How old are you, Paul?
I'll be 32 this year.
So now you're one of the senior drivers in your early 30s, and you're giving advice to your cousin and brother-in-law and everybody else. Do you take as much pride now when you see the younger, newer drivers who are moving up, or do you still want to show them that you're still the best?
Oh, absolutely. You got to teach them any way you can. The more seat time you get, the better you are.
Now, you're a father of 3. Any of the kids showing interest in getting into racing, or they're all stick and ball sport fans?
My oldest one, we had her not last year, year before, we had her down Pittsburgh Raceway, right, racing go-karts. But other than that, that's about it.
What about your youngest? I know he's always running around with tools. Do you see him maybe being a crew chief, or do you see him wanting to get behind the wheel?
He'll be behind the wheel before long.
Go-karting.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, when you got your start, did you start in go-karts or the 4 cylinders?
4 cylinders.
You think that benefited you versus, like, a go-kart's a low horsepower, small tire vehicle, just like a 4-cylinder, but the 4-cylinder, you got metal around you, so maybe you want to push it a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. I was always around the 4-cylinder racing, and that's what I started in.
Do you take more pride in the night you won that you beat your dad and grandfather, or you beat everybody?
Beat my dad's the biggest part.
Yeah, your dad, I'll tell you what, he's been racing a long time, and I've seen him win a lot of races. And one thing with you guys, you've been loyal to your number of 48 for the most part. You did run one year the 27, but how did you guys all come up with your numbers? Your dad was 505. I think your pap was number 1 at one point.
Yeah, he was number 1 at one point. Then he was 27 for the longest times, and I was I was 27 when I first started racing, and when we went down Motordrome, that's when I switched to 48.
Any significance to the number, or were you a Jimmy Johnson fan?
I was a Jimmy Johnson fan, yes.
What about Dad with the 5?
That was just the number that he picked when he first started racing.
Now, one thing that you guys have managed to have through the years, Carry All Products. It's been a sponsor on you guys for what, 15 of those years?
They've been a sponsor since 2000.
22 years. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time to have a sponsor. And who are some of the other sponsors that help keep Koffler Race or K&S Racing actually going?
Carry All, Ed's Equipment, and that's pretty much it.
Now, you like the fact that you can take that 4-cylinder and compete pretty much anywhere. The rules aren't that crazy drastically different. But have you used the same car the same year in dirt and asphalt, or do you guys have 4 cylinders just for dirt, 4 cylinders just for asphalt?
No, I can switch my car, just change my tires and my setup on it, and go race asphalt if I wanted.
What's real big with you guys? Do you scale your car every week, or are you into the spring smashers, or?
We scale it probably once or twice a month.
So kind of like the old school where a lot of guys are getting away, but you guys don't have all the shocks and springs that other divisions have. So really, you got to.
No.
The scale numbers are going to be pretty good for you.
Yep.
Now, I mentioned earlier you race with a lot of family, and you guys, it seem like the 4 cylinders, and I say this all the time, the 4-cylinder class themselves is just one big family. But you're out there, and I feel bad for your wife because you're racing against her brothers and cousins, and I know she just wants to be able to have a big Thanksgiving dinner. Has that ever been an issue where you guys got into it on the track and then it's like you get into pits and you just got to get away from each other?
A couple times.
Do you like the fact you're racing family, or would you rather it just not be that close of relations?
No, I wouldn't have it. Wouldn't have it any other way. It's fun to race with them guys. You can race door to door with them and maybe bump a little bit and pat each other on the back.
I remember, I think it was Dale last year got into you the one night he won. You came out to congratulate him. He's over there apologizing. He's like, I didn't mean to. And you're just like, hey, you won, and it's cool. You know,
Yeah,
it showed a lot of class to where, I don't know what happened, but you're one of the first people there to congratulate him. And when you win, the Grubs and everybody are all there to congratulate you. And normally a pretty big party in the pits afterwards.
absolutely. Yeah, it's bumping's racing. Intentional is intentional.
You can tell the difference. I mean,
yeah, you can tell the difference.
Now, do you have any aspirations to move up, or you very comfortable in the 4 cylinders? It fits the Koffler. Yeah. And that's I know I was talking to some people earlier today, and we were just talking like the cost of everything's just getting so far out of hand. But the 4 cylinders, I mean, to build a new car, it does cost money. Everything costs money, but it seems like the pay to out is really good for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like tires, I've been running the same tires for 3 years, and like with a crate car, you got to buy them every week.
Hey, Paul, let's go ahead and thank your sponsors. We already caught Carry On Eds, but I know you have some product sponsors, and let's talk about that pit crew. Everybody gives up so much just so K&S Motorsports can go to the track every week.
Carry All Products, Ed's Equipment, my dad, my pap, my cousin, everything we do in the garage is to get the cars ready every week.
Are you getting excited for your boy to get old enough to get him in a car?
Absolutely.
Now, will Pap come out? Will your dad come out of retirement and you'll have that 3 generation again?
I don't know. We'll see. He'll be out of retirement here in a couple weeks.
I know the winter was kind of rough for you, where you lost your good friend Jeffrey Vazos, and I know that's big in your heart. And I know we're going to do a memorial to him this year. And your dad actually was in the process of building him a car, or you guys, maybe not necessarily your dad, but that car got completed and it's going to see the track.
Yeah, it's built identical to my new one, and it's supposed to be hit the track on July 3rd for Andrew's Memorial Race at Roaring Ulms.
Okay. Well, Paul, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and going for a ride. And for those people who aren't familiar, Paul took me for a ride earlier this year when we were down at the old Motordrome, and now I guess I get to repay that favor. So this time went a little smoother, right, Paul?
Oh yeah.
Hey, race fans, be sure to keep your eyes on that number 48, Carry All Products, modified 4-cylinder, Paul Koffler III, the driver. Thank you, Paul, for your time.
Thank you, Howie.
All right. Hey, race fans, just a quick recap from last Saturday night. We had the Addison Assassin, Ryan Frazee, picking up his 4th career win in the K2 Engineering Crate late models, and the Specialty Metal Pro Stocks, Brett Hutera also picked up his 4th career win. In the modified 4-cylinders, Bob Pace picked up the win in the 99P, and Jacob Joseph picked up his 2nd win in a row in the stock 4-cylinders in the 48J. Coming up this week, we got the Thunder of the Super Lates coming back to Latrobe Speedway. Also, the K2 Engineering Crate late models, the Specialty Metal Pro Stocks, the Seal Tight 4-cylinders. And while we have a chance, we'd like to go ahead. We also will have the modified 4-cylinders and the pure stocks. We'd like to go ahead and thank all of our sponsors that help make racing possible, starting with Latrobe Speedway, SMB Promotions, Joe Auto Body in Tow and out of Fairbank, Specialty Metals, K2 Engineering, Rock Auto, Seal Tight, Stone & Company, Vinyl Destination, SMB Promotion, and special thanks to all the fans who come and support local racing, especially at Latrobe Speedway. Just remember, the new grandstands, they're getting built. I believe all the support beams are up, and the support pillars, and they're going to start putting the beams in, and those will be up before you know it. But be sure to come this upcoming Saturday night. Super late models return to Latrobe Speedway, 2,000 to win. So far, we have Daniel Angelico, Michael Lake, and other drivers committed to come. It'll be a great night of racing. And don't forget, we'll see you at the races. Thank you.